Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. The crew is with us once again. Scott, how you feeling tonight? Is Scott on mute? Did Scott mute himself?
He doesn't look like he's hearing anything.
I can't
I
hear
can hear Cheryl, though.
him. Nope. Can't hear him.
Nope, we can't. We can hear Scott. He can't hear us. Drew, how you feeling tonight?
I'm ready to roll, man. Let's do this.
Good, man. Good to hear from you. Joe, how you doing, bud?
Oh, lovely.
All right, boys. Hopefully Scott can figure out his technical issues. If not, it's going to be a very interesting show. We got tons that we're going to get to tonight. We're going to talk about...
This is a great night. I don't think Joe has moved since we came
Everything was working before.
We're going to talk the Jordan documentary. We're going to talk about some NFL prop bets for the draft. We're also going to get into another edition of Fire or Dumpster Fire with some new reveals that came out this week. Tons that we want to get to, as well as some baseball news, because baseball, I got to talk baseball if there's ever a chance to talk baseball, I'm talking baseball. So stick around, share the show, help us out. Maybe Scott will join.
I just love that even from like however many miles away, Joe is still running the show, providing technical support, troubleshooting, whatnots.
Yeah, look at him texting, trying to get. He's not even texting Scott though. He's like, nah, screw it.
Just give up.
All right. Well, we'll give Scott a few minutes to try to figure this all out. And while we do that, we can get right into the beer that we are drinking this week. This is First Pour, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. We got the hookup for you, everybody. All you got to do, go to dugoutmugs.online/craft. You can get 10% off your entire order. That's it. No coupon code to use. Just use that link, dugoutmugs.online/craft. You can get 10% added directly to your order. We drink out of bats here on the show. You should drink out of a bat too. Just because there is no baseball going on doesn't mean you can't celebrate in style. Dugoutmugs.online/craft. This week's beer that we are drinking, because it's a special show. Scott being all messed up at the beginning here has me all thrown off. But this is a very special show. This is the birthday show. 4 years of Craft Brewed Sports, and we're celebrating by drinking Birthday Sasquatch from 903 Brewers in Sherman, Texas. This is a 9.8% ABV brew. It's brewed with double fudge and toasted marshmallows with hints of maple syrup sweetness on the finish. This one's rated 4.04 caps on Untapped. So fantastic ratings on this one. Drew, how you thinking about this one? You had a chance to sip this one yet?
I haven't yet because I feel like I'm gonna chug them. I cracked it open. The like color of the beer showed immediately, and it looks stunning. Then I smelled it, and it's thick, it's rich, it's sweet. Doesn't smell anything like Sasquatch balls. I'm super excited for this one. I think it's gonna be amazing, man.
It smells amazing. Like the first sniff on this one is crazy good. Joe, I know how much you like stouts. If you could smell this one, you would immediately hate it. Just smell alone.
Probably.
What are you drinking tonight, Joe? What's in your cup?
That's a good old Budweiser bottle.
Good old BLB.
You went Bud heavy on us.
Oh, it's a Bud Heavy. Oh,
Joe doesn't mess around, man. He doesn't mess around at all. Bud heavy for Joe. Birthday Sasquatch for us. This brew, dude, it is like you can taste the fudge right off the bat on this one. Like, it's crazy.
I want to know who the assholes were that rated this thing down to a 4.04.
This
Like,
could
what
be
is
a
wrong with
5.
these idiots?
This definitely
It should
could
be
be a 5. I don't get much marshmallow taste to this one, but I do get the maple syrup. Like,
This echo is amazing.
oh, hey, there's Scott.
Hey, there you can hear us.
I can't hear myself, but I can hear you guys.
You know, one might argue that's the best way to live your life.
Scott, how are you thinking about Birthday Sasquatch? Welcome to the show, by the way. Nice to hear
Oh,
from you.
hey, it's good to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Anyway.
4 years. We've been doing this show for
here's
4
the main-
years.
Yeah, 4 years, and this is way worse than the first. We had stick mics, and this is way better somehow.
What do you think of birthday Sasquatch? Yay or nay?
Solid stout. I'm sure Joe hates it, so I love it.
Yep, that's pretty fair. This is this is First Pour, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Again, dugoutmugs.online/craft. Get 10% off that entire order just by going to that link. Fellas, the big story from this weekend, the Jordan documentary. Now that Scott can actually hear, now that he knows what's going on, by the way, Matt Barr saying A+++ start, fellas. Yes, thank you, Matt Barr.
You know, it wouldn't be us an anniversary without some technical difficulties and Mike wanting to switch things, you know, like a day before and be all fancy, and just throw curveballs.
Would have been totally fine if you guys had signed up for the service when I asked you to do it instead of doing it today. That probably would have helped things out. Because then, you know, we could run a dry run, test things out. But nah, it's cool. Yeah, it's my fault.
I ran a dry rub. What are you talking
about? Scott, how into this Jordan documentary were you?
I was so into it that I had tears streaming down my face 5 minutes in. My wife and my mom yelled at me, or laughed at me, rather, because I was crying during the intro.
Why did you? What made you cry?
I believe that 100% too. This is not a fabrication. I believe this to be true.
It is true. I'm not. Yeah. Why would I lie about something?
Wait, hang on. What is it about the intro that brought tears to your eyes?
It was just seeing Jordan in the highlights and all the glory. It just felt good, man. It was just all those childhood memories came flooding back.
So, and that's kind of, okay, so you bring up an interesting point there, and that's what I wanted to get into about this documentary. So within minutes after this documentary, people are putting out, this is why Jordan's the greatest. See, Jordan's the greatest. Jordan over LeBron. This proves it. And I feel like the reason why people are doing that is all nostalgia. It has nothing to do with, like, we saw very little that would put Jordan above LeBron based on what we saw in the first 2 episodes of this documentary.
Yes, we did.
I don't know who's
had to fill the dead space. I was waiting for Scott because I ain't watched a single minute of this damn thing. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, you didn't watch any of it?
I totally forgot.
For fuck's sake, man. Okay, yeah. Anyway, I mean that's the thing. Like, the first episode was gonna be them showing the original part, so it's not like we need to see him pass LeBron in the first few minutes of the first episode. So
no, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody is like, this dude, this is why he's better than LeBron. I'm like, why? Nothing in this documentary so far has proven that MJ was better than LeBron. There wasn't anything that they showed that I'm like, oh, that's it. We knew he was an ultra competitor. We knew he was a dick to his teammates. Why? Nothing is a surprise on this one.
Well, I love that LeBron gets celebrated, or not LeBron, but that MJ gets celebrated for being a dick to his teammates and ultra competitive. Where nowadays, if you're a dick, you get eviscerated and called out for it, even if you're a winner.
That's a good point.
Like, it's also relative, man. I mean, we're never going to be able to simulate LeBron versus MJ one-on-one. And even if we did, someone would be like, well, that's not accurate because, you know, it's a 5-man game and blah, blah, blah. Why can't they just both be amazing in their eras?
That's a controversial take right there, Gio.
And we get to the nitty-gritty. There are 2 things that were noticeable in this. One, the red in Jordan's eyes. My mom even commented, for the love of God, he needs to put some clear eyes in. Why are his eyes so red? And 2 was the fact that Jerry Krause has been dead now for 3 years, but he took all of the shit. Why was it that it seemed like Reinsdorf got a pass and he totally passed the buck? He's like, hey, look, man, I was just here signing checks. I didn't have a problem with anything, but that Krause guy, he was fucking up. Like, I tried to keep the band together and Krause can't defend himself. Like, nobody can say that Krause wasn't the impetus of why this whole thing blew up. But the fact that he couldn't defend himself, I thought was hilarious. That Reinsdorf was just like, oh, well, you know what? I was just here. I don't know what happened. I was trying to keep the best team together, you know, but he didn't want to, so I couldn't.
It is amazing
I think the best thing that's come out so far is the meme where you got him and the Space Jam guy looking exactly the same in the exact same pose.
That was
like, oh, I guess
saw
that's
that.
where they came up with that character for Space Jam.
I saw that meme. I saw that much of the documentary. I should add that in. I also think we're glossing over a key point here that Scott also had to change his pants the first 5 minutes in. So like you went the full range of emotions here, man. How are you feeling? Have you recovered from like the journey that was this documentary series, Scott? Are you good now?
There's only 2 episodes so far. There's 8 more to go. Like I'm good, man. I got to spread it out.
Was that? We won't bring up the dry rub yet.
You know what stood out to
no,
me? You know what stood out to me in this one? I totally forgot how badass Michael Jordan looked in a backwards Kangol hat until I saw it in the first episode, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That was like every dude in my grade school wore backwards Kangol hats because Michael Jordan wore them, and it made me feel. I mean, it was super white of me, but it looks good on Jordan.
I was gonna say, what kind of grade school did you go to? I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
Well, I was laughing at the fact that Stern was like, "Yeah, I think Michael was wearing a beret backwards because he's Michael." And I was just like, "Yep, he got away with it, even though he looked like an idiot." But he's Michael Jordan. Who's gonna tell him he looks like an idiot in that hat?
The people pointing out that Jordan just like triple parked his car, left the top down, just basically just walked in and was just like, "Nah, do something. I dare you." Like that was such a baller move on his part.
You mean like Kobe and his Lambo in L.A.?
Dude,
Don't you dare use that name during this show.
whoa, hang on. There's rumors that there could be a Kobe doc in the making. Apparently, his final 2 seasons in LA, cameras followed them everywhere. So we may end up seeing a Last Dance type movie or Last Dance type documentary with Kobe in the near future. Would it get the same hype?
Last Dance
Yeah.
or First Rape?
Who's in their kitchen?
I was gonna say we got a rim shot.
Cheryl was so shook she dropped the fork.
I heard that. Everybody.
Is the
heard
steak
that.
okay? Is the steak okay?
Steak is good. Steak is
good.
good. Everybody, we're fine.
Let's talk
That better
about
be
the.
evenly cooked though.
Let's talk about the scene where Jordan was talking about his rookie year, and he said that he walked into a party and there were people smoking weed and doing lines, and there were girls everywhere, and Jordan was like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave because that's not me." Joe, you're shaking your head no. You don't believe that for 1 second, right?
I mean, everybody pointed out his eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way, right?
That was later though, right?
He was just, dude, I'm pretty sure Jordan has cirrhosis at this point. With how red those eyes were, with how much he was boozing through that whole thing, he's got to be in some trouble at this point. Nope.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough. Frankie's saying Jordan knew what he was doing when he created the documentary. Jordan and Krause had daggers for each other, and that's true. Jordan owns. So that's the other thing too. With everybody talking about how great Jordan is compared to LeBron after this, Jordan owns the rights to this. Like he owns all of this material. We're not going to see something that paints him in a very negative light. Like he even said beforehand, I think people aren't going to like me because I was a dick to my teammates. But if that's the worst we see or hear about Jordan during this, then it's not going to change anybody's perception, right?
Right.
No, of course not. But I would love to see Jordan go.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's all good.
It didn't happen.
As long as you didn't waste that beer, that's all that matters.
Oh,
Also, Jordan
shit.
will never have cirrhosis because just like the South Park episode where what's his name, Magic had AIDS and all he had to do was inject the money. He good. Same thing.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about with this Jordan documentary is Reggie Miller. It came out and said that if he saw Jordan now, he might punch him in the face.
Reggie wouldn't win a fight with his sister, so it's easy for him to say he would fight somebody now. Get the F out of here, Reggie.
Ain't no one care about you anymore. Even Stan Lee's moved on.
Seriously, come on.
And by
Reggie,
Stan Lee, I mean
oh,
Spike
shit.
Lee.
Would you want
I
to?
knew which one you meant. There's
Thank you. I
only one
appreciate
alive.
that, but I would have felt real dumb if I let that go uncorrected.
I should have let it. We should have just let that go.
Also,
How much would you?
so white.
How much would you pay to see Reggie and Jordan in the ring boxing?
$5.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that
as
great
good
a
as
fight.
basketball.
It wouldn't be because Jordan would knock his ass out in the first few minutes, red eyes and all.
Reggie,
Don't
he'd
take,
crack
like,
in
4
half.
swings and fall over from lazy, being tired, and that'd be it.
Here's the other thing. Isn't Jordan like 57? Like Jordan's almost 60. Reggie's got to be pushing 60. That would be the worst fight ever to watch. Just two old dudes slap fighting. Ugh, awful.
Would the AARP protest this as abusive treatment towards old people at that point? Then
there's a good chance of that. Let's talk real quick about one of Jordan's teammates that was featured in the documentary, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is in the news this week because he has an idea that he wants to take players and put them in a room with their Twitter trolls and let the Twitter trolls say what they said to the player's face. He was like, I think, number one, it's going to help the player and be like, do you really care what this guy says? Like, imagine me sitting down in a room and it's just like, do you really care what this jackass says about you? And he says, and then on the other hand, the trolls would never say it to the player's face. Scott, you are probably the biggest hater on this show. If you had a chance,
Whoa, rude.
And true, right?
Yes, but go ahead.
If you had the chance to sit down in front of Jeter, would you really tell him the things you said on this show about him?
See, you're going after the wrong person, because if I had the chance to go after A-Rod, totally would. See, I actually deep down secretly respected Jeter, but I have no love or any respect for A-Rod. So if I had the chance to ask him questions that would utterly embarrass him, I totally would. No hesitation.
Not utterly embarrass him. Would you sit down in front of him and be like, I hate you. I think you are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'd be like, I hate you. Your wife is only with you because it's another one of her famous husbands. Like, I would lay it all out there. Like, Fox gives you a show because they're, not legit. Like, I would just eviscerate him.
Who wouldn't though for A-Rod, right? Like who would actually say nice things or like backtrack with A-Rod?
Not even his mama.
Yeah, exactly. She would say, I would watch
like,
that.
You cheated and you ain't shit.
Joe, is there any athlete that you would like to sit down and talk shit to their face?
I don't know. I don't really go after that many people.
No, you don't. You were like the positive ray of sunshine that's just like, go Browns.
I go after organizations. Maybe if Art Modell was still alive, I'd talk to him.
Yeah, Mike, what would you say to Mike Brown?
I whatever it was, I would have to talk really loud because that old ass probably couldn't hear me even if first of all, they'd sit me down and they'd be like, all right, Mr. Brown, this guy was talking shit about you on Twitter. And he'd be like, what's a Twitter? And then they'd have to explain Twitter to Mike Brown. And by the time they figured it all out, and he'd be like, all right, I'm done. This took too long. So, I would tell Mike Brown he sucks because I hate Mike Brown. I hate him so much.
You would just go, you suck.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Mike Brown. That's the other thing. Like, I would not be afraid to unleash on Mike Brown because there's no fear. But you put me down in front of a real athlete, like somebody who could beat my ass. Now I'm probably hedging my bets a little bit. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, everybody except Mike Brown.
I know Mike's doing those prison workout these days. He's a little jacked.
I have been doing prison workouts. All right. Well, that was a good talk, guys. Let's talk about this.
I like how it ended.
This is going so well. I tell you, for 4-year anniversary, we're crushing this one.
True.
This is so much better than 2 stick mics and a couch.
Is it though? I don't know.
It is not. The only difference is they can see how stupid we look.
In 4 years, we have gone from doing this show for dozens of listeners to doing this show for dozens of viewers, and I'm very proud of that achievement. That's a big thing for me. I think that's a
screwing
solid...
it up on dozens of platforms.
Hey,
along
to be
the way.
fair, it's a different dozen. So
is it though?
That.
Is it?
It is, yeah. I would love to go back and see if anybody that watched the first episode is still watching now. Like, we definitely flip-flopped the listeners and viewers from then. Like, the people who were there at the beginning are like, yeah, they'll be fine, but I gotta go. And we may have accidentally picked up some people along the way, so 0% chance that it's the same dozen. So we got 24 people that have heard this show.
I got better things to do with my 2.5 hours.
Well, once upon a time, it was 3. We thought people gave a shit that we would talk for 3 hours.
I mean, I'll be honest. It helped me kill a lot of time at work.
We were so ridiculous to be like, no. People want to hear this for 3 hours on a Friday night. That's what we can do. That's
And
what,
even more ridiculous was that we sat down and thought, yeah, 3 hours of recording. This is a good use of our time, not getting paid. All right.
and now we do
But
get
seriously,
paid.
we were like right there from blowing up. We're 4 years later, and we're like at the same place for blowing up.
Nah, we might have taken a few steps back.
That son of a bitch, you're right.
We successfully ended a Major League Baseball player's career, though. Like that's something that
did.
happened over these
Cheers
last
to
4 years.
that.
Yeah, let's raise one to
Yeah,
Bronson.
that one.
Had him on the show, and then that Sunday career ended. So curse of the craft brewed sports.
That's what we do.
Also, Scott, do you realize that in these 4 years you have incorrectly picked 612 times?
What?
There's no fact checks on that. That just seemed accurate.
I was just
With
gonna
how
say, I was like,
with
hold
how
on,
terrible you are at
that
picking
math
games
doesn't
lately.
add at all.
Yeah, because
You know, like-
especially because at first, Mike, you were the one that couldn't get shit
I was
right.
just gonna say, I was like, this past season, I really sunk to a low place, but overall, I'm running circles around you.
Nah, I don't think so. I think if we actually went back and figured it out, because you really tanked, bro. You
I was
got
ass
bad.
this season. Like it was, I would go to sleep at night and I would be laying there thinking, "Holy shit! If I get another one wrong this week, like I'm gonna kick myself off the show."
And then you did.
I know. Then I did it, and I was like, "What is happening?" It was one of those inexplicable things. Like it didn't matter who I picked; the other team was gonna win. Like my reasoning was sound. What I expressed would happen, and then somehow at the last minute, be like, "Yeah, but the other team won. Go fuck yourself."
You know what
What
your downfall
What I don't
was?
understand, he never just flipped a coin, Scott. You should have just started rolling dice or flipping a coin. Stop thinking. I was really expecting that to be like one of your go-tos at a point, and we never got there.
Here's the problem. Scott was always on the right track. It was the spread that killed him. Like if he was just picking
Oh, the
straight up,
spread
and
murdered
that's why
me.
he was so good the first year, because we didn't do the spread. Once the spread came in, Scott was ass. So basically never take gambling advice from
and
Scott.
to be fair, I have
To be fair.
always maintained that when we do the picks, I'm good at just heads up, but if you throw the spread in there, gonna get me every time.
Don't the moral of the story, don't take Scott to Vegas ever. Ever.
No, seriously,
ever,
don't.
Take him to Vegas and then bet the other side.
No, that's when
True.
that's when he'd turn all Rain Man and be able to pick every game correctly. Because that's the kind of luck I have. I would try to tempt the sports gods that way.
I don't even need to try this.
Did you guys hear about the this basketball recruit, the #1 recruit in the nation, who is skipping college and going to the G League instead?
I did because I love it.
Jalen Green, who is the #1 prospect, has announced that he is going to the G League instead of college. We talked about this a couple years ago, right? When that dude went to Adidas, he decided to go to
The
Adidas.
dude from Cincinnati.
Yeah. Was that? Did he go to Adidas or was it?
I thought he got an internship or something.
Well,
Right.
it's like he was like committed to Syracuse and then decided he was going to skip Syracuse and go over. And I think it was Adidas that he signed the deal with.
Right, and he got a year-long internship, like for $1 million, where he
Right.
just got to work
Yeah,
out.
wait. What happened to this cat? Or is he coming in the draft now?
He might be in the draft now.
You know what happened to him? COVID. Just like everybody else. Like,
That's
I mean, he got
true.
COVIDed.
Oh, good thing he got paid then, right? Shit.
But that's exactly what the point. Like, that's why you sign these deals. That's why you skip going to college, because even if you only make, a few 100,000, playing the 1 year in the G League, it's better than getting paid zero or, whatever you negotiate under the table. Wink, wink.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, they can get the
Yeah.
Jordan treatment and get girls coke and booze or whatever. I mean, that's something.
No, man. He turned around and he left that room. Don't you put
Oh,
that evil
right.
on
He
Jordan.
went to the other room with
Yeah,
strippers,
he said,
coke,
"No,
and booze.
I'm out.
Joe literally rolling his eyes at that.
It was
Because
just an echo
seriously, that was
chamber.
probably the most eye roll moment of the thing. Like, I love Mike, but there's no way that I was able to believe that he would walk into a room with all that going, oh, well, guys, I gotta go because I'm just so righteous.
Especially
I
as a
can't be
rookie.
here."
There's no way that as a rookie he
Right.
goes and does that. That's insane.
Wait, was it rookie or freshman year at college?
That
It
was
was
rookie.
yeah.
Yeah, there ain't no way he left that room.
Just not so innocently. I mean, it's just like there's no way anybody's gonna believe that you weren't just like, but hold on a second, what's going on over there in the corner? No, I can't. I have to go. Like he tried to present himself as just, oh, nope, I see the wrongs going on here, and I've got to turn the other cheek. Goodbye, brothers and sisters. I'll be in my room. Like, come on, Mike. Nobody buys that.
Were you surprised that Jordan was golfing with Ainge before a playoff game?
I was, only because I thought Ainge was way too white to be somebody that he'd be golfing with. Like, because white people are good at golf. So, like, him just like kind of learning, I was like, Mike, you're stepping into an arena that ain't yours, right? And so when he got his ass whooped and they showed that video where he's like, I'm really getting pissed, I couldn't help but chuckle because I thought, Mike, what did you think was going to happen against a white guy playing golf? Like, you really thought that's like, but at the end, though, when it was just like, get your boy for tomorrow, tell him I got something for him. It's like, oh man, at least he knew that, hey, you might have got me at your white sport, but I'm going to kill you at this black sport tomorrow.
See, that's why Jordan's better than LeBron. That's it right there. There it is. I just love
say it, but I mean,
I'm just I just love that, like, all the people who are like, I miss the old school NBA, the 90s NBA, when like guys they weren't friends, they weren't hanging out. It's like, oh wait, except Jordan was playing golf with Ainge before a playoff game. So yeah, let's just go ahead and put that whole thing to bed. That whole argument of 90s NBA is so great because they hated each other at the time.
right.
Sports Stance Greg saying he is way too white, but Mike loved to gamble, and that's true. I guess that's a good way to put it. Even back then, as a rookie, he's gambling in a sport that he knows he's going to lose. Oh, that's the other thing. That season that they made the playoffs, the Bulls had a losing record. That's the other thing that all the old guys talk about is like, oh, back in the old days, you didn't have these terrible teams making the playoffs. A Jordan Bulls team had a losing record and made the playoffs. So that argument is also done now too. Nobody can pull that one out either.
Well, and I did laugh at that because I remember thinking, one, that like all the people who say, oh yeah, back when we watched it, like nobody got in with these losing records, and then that happened. But also the fact that they had this tremendous matchup against the Celtics, and Jordan did amazing things, but they still lost the series like they were supposed to. Like it was very much like, oh yeah, nobody looks at that. It's like, well, he put on this amazing show, but the Bulls went out like some bitches. Like it was.
But he never lost in the final, Scott. That's what matters. Okay,
Well,
you can lose in the first round, especially when it was best of five.
Though, that like everybody thinks that I like overlook, but I do point out, it's just like, man, those early years, it was nothing pretty for Jordan. It was very ugly.
Not until Scotty came around in his terrible, terrible contract that the Bulls actually were able to put anything together.
Scotty.
I love that his wife was quick to go on Twitter and be like, no, we're rich. It's fine. It's fine. We're rich. It's fine. Like,
I mean, I remember hearing that story and how bad it was, but it wasn't until we watched this documentary where it was just like, dude, you might have been one of the dumbest sons of bitches ever. And again, Jerry should have taken some blame because he sat there and he's like, yeah, man, I knew it was like the worst deal somebody could ever sign in their life, but what could I do? It's like, dude, you know what you could have done? You could have loosened the reins on your one rule of I'm not going to pay this guy. This is like, oh, well, he signed the deal, so he's got to honor. It's like, but you knew he was criminally underpaid. Don't be a big douche. It's unbelievable.
We'll do another wrap up. We'll do episodes 3 and 4 next week, which I am glad that they're doing this on Sundays. I thought it was going to be like every day this week, so I'm really glad that they are spreading this out, and it's going to be Sunday for episodes 3 and 4. So we do have something to look forward to rather than it just being done this week. But yeah, we'll talk 3 and 4 next week. But as of right now, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, More Labs. When you are partying for your birthday or messing up a live stream like we do, you drink and you screw things up and you need to wake up the next morning, and you can do so with More Labs. Go to morelabs.com right now. Use the code SPORTS and get 20% off your order of Morning Recovery. Feel free to booze up all night long. Take one bottle of Morning Recovery an hour after you're done drinking, up to an hour after you're done drinking. You're going to wake up feeling fresh the next morning, guaranteed, or your money back. It's morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS. Get 20% off that order. All right, fellas, let's switch gears here a little bit and talk some NFL. Since we were talking about how terrible of a bettor Scott is, I do want to talk about some of these NFL draft prop bets. I don't really care. Like, the draft is whatever. The Bengals have said that the rumor is they've indicated to Joe Burrow, they've told him he's going number 1 overall. So who cares about the actual draft? Let's talk about some of the crazy prop bets. So these are things that you can actually bet on currently. And I want to know your feelings on this one. Joe, I'm going to go to you first. Will the draft be hacked? Yes is a plus 800 bet. No is minus 2,500.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to bet the yes, right? You have to.
Yeah, there are too many
seriously?
people, online trolls, that know what they're doing that are just going to destroy this.
I feel like this is people's Super Bowl to hack this, right? Like, to do it in front of this many people that will be watching. Not only that, people are going to watch it just to see if it's going to be hacked. So you're going to have a huge audience. Are they going to just draw dicks on people's faces? Like, is that going to be the hack?
I don't understand why you guys think the shit's actually live.
So hang on. You're going conspiracy theory that this is pre-recorded.
Yeah, you can't hack something that's not live.
I didn't know I needed my tinfoil hat for tonight.
Man, yeah. Hang on. No, wait a second, Drew. Let's talk about
Play the
this for a
intro.
second. Yeah, I'm trying to find the intro.
Abstinence
realize you were
works,
camping.
kid. Abstinence works, right? So the only way to not get pregnant is to never have sex. The only way not to get hacked is to just not do shit live.
So
We ain't doing this live.
So you are
The
saying
NFL is not that smart.
well, that's
Oh, God damn.
that's what I was
You're
gonna.
right, I forgot about that
Aw,
part. Yeah.
man. They'll be like, "Oh, son of a bitch, how did this happen?" Oh.
Wait, did
Golly
Scott
gee.
just kill your entire conspiracy theory with one sentence?
Yeah, I think he kind of did.
Well, this was conspiracy
Damn.
theories. Thanks for.
You
It
do.
didn't
So
even
that
last the
drill-
intro.
we didn't-
Yeah, we didn't even get to that point. I saw the video. I never heard the audio, but yeah, you're right. They ain't smart enough for this.
Will a Twitter account for a draftee be hacked? That's or let's do this one. Will a Twitter account for a draftee be hacked? Will that happen? Yes is a plus 550. No is a minus 1,000. Does anybody think anybody's Twitter is gonna go crazy during the draft?
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I need them to refer to this as tunsled. I mean, if you're gonna do it right. So, like, is anybody gonna get tunsled in this draft? And I feel like if somebody got tunsled before it was all online, there's a 1,000% chance that somebody's gonna get tunsled this time around.
Wait, is this just for the first round, or is this like the whole draft?
It
It's the whole
says
draft.
it says the whole
Oh
draft.
yeah, it's for sure happening then.
Right.
There's got to be some draftee whose Twitter goes off the rails during this. It has to. It's got to be the case. The highest number of people in the same room, the over/under is set at 9.5. How many people are recognizing social distancing during this draft and actually putting that into action? Whether that's coaches in their war rooms or players at their parties waiting to hear their name called. Anybody going? I feel like there might not be anybody under 9.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the over. I'll hammer that one.
Are you taking the over, Scott?
Yeah, because you know what this is aimed towards. The black families who
Oh,
ain't gonna be able to control themselves. They know that them black families is gonna be celebrating like they always do. COVID and no COVID, mamas, and cousins is all gonna be there. So that one's an easy one. I'm surprised it wasn't more like 30 and a half.
Joe, after hearing that reasoning, are you taking the over on this one too?
No, I bet you NFL sent out a statement saying if the camera's on, if there are other people there, they can't be on camera. So I bet you they sent out a statement to probably have 50 of the first couple, and so I would go under just so that you didn't have to deal with the backlash of Twitter and everybody coming at you like immediately when you get drafted into the NFL.
That's a very good point. I could see Raj coming in with an iron fist and laying that one down.
I firmly believe that Raj would do that, but black folks don't care. They've been pent up for a while, and they would be doing this if there wasn't COVID. So again, they're like, "Oh, you're COVID? We see you COVID, and we raise you 2 fingers." They gonna still do the draft parties. I'm just saying.
Will any draftee be shown drinking beer? A yes vote. A yes on this one is plus 250. The no prop is minus 400. Joe shaking his head no. Drew saying no. Scott, you think anybody's going to be drinking beer?
No.
I think this will be one of those that you might see somebody like hurry up and put it down real quickly. Like when they realize the camera flipped over to them, it's going to be like quick reach down.
I'm
next to their
waiting for
chair.
you to get to the real prop bet, but keep going.
What's the real one? No, go ahead.
I'm waiting for is there going to be any significant other who spazzes out more than Russell Wilson's former wife did during the draft? Because to me, that's like the epitome of I got rich. and then she ended up on the sidelines divorced. But that
Still rich.
Like, still, there was nothing more burned into my head than, oh my God, look at how happy she is. And she's done nothing.
That's a fair point. That prop bet is not showing.
In her mind.
That prop bet is not showing up here. But there is one that says, "Will there be any dogs? Will we see any dogs?" It's over.
There's 100% chance.
Oh no, it's an over under, Mike. There's a line on that one.
Over under is 3.5 dogs. Yeah. Will we see over
Wait,
3.5
dogs
Over.
for the entire weekend or just the first round?
Yeah, the entire. No, I take that back. First round. Total dogs shown during the first round.
Oh,
over
I'm
under
taking
is
the
3.5.
under.
You think it's gonna be under
Really?
3.5?
No. Remember, there's a lot of black people drafted in the first round and they're not having the dogs. So it'll be the under. Now, as the draft goes on and all those white people start getting drafted, then you see all the dogs. But in the first round, you take the under on that one because since Mike fucked that up for everybody, there's no way, they're going to show dogs.
How many Georgia players are supposed to go in the first round? I feel like at least a couple of them would have Bulldogs with them, though.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Matt Barr pointing out the beer one is very tricky because it won't be visible. They'll have a solo cup. So they will be drinking beer. You just won't be able to tell. So there you go. I would argue that one then. And Matt saying you are playing both of your race cards a ton during this episode.
I felt like I needed to come back hard and fast after last week. My mom was like, "You seemed kind of like you weren't really that happy to be back at the beginning of the episode." And I was like, "Really?" I was trying to like undersell it, but I was just like, "All right, Mom didn't get it." So this time I figured I'd come out super racist on both sides. Make everybody uncomfortable as shit.
That leaves a lot of room for us to play in, Scott.
Let's play Fire or Dumpster Fire because we had 2 new uniforms. 2 new uniform reveals this week. We'll talk Patriots first. The Patriots unveiled their new uniforms. Basically took their Color Rush uniforms and made that blue on blue as their home, white on white as their away jersey. It's clean. It's basic. Nothing really fancy in my mind. So normally I would say this would be between Fire and Dumpster Fire, closer to Dumpster Fire, but I would have to go Dumpster Fire. I like the all blues, but I'm not a huge fan of these ones.
Where's the analysis from last week, Mike? Let's hear about the trim. Let's hear about the hues of the colors. Get that explanation for our audio listeners.
No,
bud.
man,
Come on.
you shit on me last week, so everybody can just watch the video.
If you want to see
I
it,
feel like good.
What'd you say, Joe?
if you want to see it, just look it up.
Yeah, there
Pretty sure
you
you've done nothing, so you've seen it.
Right.
already.
Search Patriots New Jersey. Anybody like these? Anybody saying these are fire?
They look all right.
Yeah, that's dumpster fire then.
No, my thing about him is that, I know this is going to bring up a race thing again, but I was like, if any other team in the league took their ridiculous color rush uniform and said, hey, this is going to be our primary uniform, there would be like an outrage. But as soon as I saw the headline and I clicked on the article for this and I saw the pictures, it's like, these are the most white color rush uniforms in the entire league. I was like, they look like regular jerseys already. Of course, they just adopted them. They look like the ones that they wore during the 90s. So this was perfectly fine. If any other team in the league said this, they'd be like, their fans would be throwing a bitch fit. But of course, Boston fans are like, these are fine. Man, we don't give a shit.
Brady's
I
got.
I want to see Scott grade all the color rush uniforms on white, not white. Can we get that segment for next week? Just run them down and be like, nope.
Instead of
I actually like this one. This is a good idea.
Instead of fire dumpster fire, it's going to be white or not white.
White or not white.
Yeah,
all right, we'll do it again next week then. That's fine.
See, remember when I said we got our street cred back, and you're like, "What? No, what are you talking about?"
You're right. You do have your street cred back.
All right. Well, as the whitest guy on the show, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say these next uniforms are hands down not white. These uniforms are straight fire. The Chargers unveiled their new uniforms this week. Unreal. First of all, there's so many different combinations that they have going on with this one. They brought back the powder blue, but they also have like a navy, a royal blue with white numbers. They've got gold pants, white on white, white on yellow, pale blue, powder blue on yellow. I mean, every type of combination you can find on this one. This was hands down my favorite jersey reveal that has happened this offseason. I think they absolutely killed this one. These are straight fire. Anybody want to try to disagree?
Are they going to play enough games to use all these? I mean, shit.
They do have a little bit of Oregon to them with these,
right?
ones.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, how are you going to change all this up? I do like the numbers on the helmet, though. I like that look.
Funny you say that. That's the one thing I didn't like.
Know why in this demo they were like, hey, we're going to use number 20. We all know that 21 is the most famous number in our team's history, but we're just going to go and use Barry Sanders for no good reason.
Hey, Scott, what year is it?
It doesn't matter.
It's 2020.
That's the thing that it drew to me.
That's what they all did.
The number.
All of the reveals use number 20 because it's 2020
Dude, Mike, you pay attention to shit. That's impressive.
See, it had nothing to do with race, and I missed it.
I did not pick up on that.
You didn't get that either?
I picked up on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, somebody else. Oh no.
Yeah. We
cool.
just had the Patriots on the screen that was number 20 as well. Like, and the Browns last week, they were wearing number 2. Everybody just released it as number 20
And it's the first time that it stuck out to me was that they were one.
Well, that's because you see it 9 times in these uniforms. That's why it sticks out to you this time. You're like, that's a lot of 20s. What the shit is going on with these ones?
That's a lot of guys that are one less than Tomlinson. That seems like they did it on purpose. Those bastards.
Can I get the yellow pants with that like royal blue top?
Oh yeah, that'd look really good.
Like, I feel like that would be kind of fly.
I would dig that one.
Kids still say that? They still say fly? I don't think it's the same.
Here's the problem, though. These jerseys look fantastic. The only problem is we know they don't go further than the first weekend of the playoffs because that's the Patriots or that's the fucking Chargers MO. Is that they get to the playoffs and then they just shit the bed.
Well, no, they got rid of Mr. Phillip Rivers though.
I know, but even before Rivers, they managed to get there. It's like all those years that Marty was there, and they would finish, 12-4, but yet still lose. That was before Rivers got there.
Who? Marty?
Schottenheimer.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, could they let Marty's play quarterback?
I was gonna say I didn't think I had to use his last name since you Browns fans know all about him.
Oh, hell no. Don't be putting me in that group. Browns fans. Damn. At least the Lions have Barry Sanders to fall back on.
Robert Taylor calling out the team losing in the first round. You're thinking the Ravens. Speaking of them, Lamar Jackson confirming he's on the Madden cover for this year and welcoming the Madden curse. He pointed to, and I'm glad Robert Taylor brought this up, he pointed to Pat Mahomes and he was like, hey, he went and won the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl MVP. So if that's the
Let him finish. Do you need a little nap right now, Scott? Though I feel like exhausted.
Man, I just there was no way to avoid it, but there he is.
So anyways, Scott, I'm glad anybody listening to just the audio has no idea what just happened. It was just silence and me silently laughing at you miming.
They should come over to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, check it out. You know, see
Periscope.
some quality Periscope, yeah, quality clips. Also, I think we've got our Scott segment, by the way. Greg Cowan over there. We let Scott rate the unis on a scale of Betty White to Suge Knight.
I'm in.
Hey, Mike Scott's not up his nose.
I'll come up with some graphics for this. I don't care. I'll get some Betty White Suge Knight graphics going.
I want Betty White in the big red suit.
By the way, Scott, I don't think you really thought this one through because Greg pointing out these are recorded and they do live on our Facebook feed and our YouTube channel forever. Greg's going to go ahead and screen grab that pantomiming that you were doing.
Just make sure you tag Robert Taylor in it. That's all, because that's what I was doing, was talking about him and, the Chiefs. And
he didn't even bring it up. I did.
I know. But it's still, that's what it was referenced to.
How bizarre is it that Gronk is out of retirement and playing in Tampa Bay now? Is that weird to you guys?
First of all, this Tampa Bay shit needs to stop.
Why?
That.
Why?
I don't want to hear it anymore.
Isn't it trademarked?
Stupid. Who the hell cares? He's gonna get his ass lit up week 1, break his friggin' rib, and be out the whole damn season.
Guys, you're burying the lead. Everybody knows that the best thing that came out of this was that the WWE issued a statement saying that Gronk is the 24/7 champion and he has to defend the title anywhere, including during NFL games. That was the only thing that mattered about this. I was like, wait a minute, Gronk's out of retirement? How did that happen? Oh, but wait, he might have to defend the title in the middle of a game? I'm all the way in.
So are we one step closer to the Carter brothers fighting at halftime, but instead it's like Gronk throwing down in his NFL gear in a ring at halftime to defend his title?
Not even in a ring. I just want to see him like warming
Just on
up
the
at
field.
he's just like lined up at tight end on 3rd and short, and all of a sudden somebody comes and hits him with the steel chair to the back of the head.
The RKO out of nowhere.
That's exactly. I knew it. I was like, oh, you've got to hit him with the RKO. He's ready to run that route. It's 3rd and short, and everybody knows where the ball's going, and just boom, and it's like, oh, guess what? He lost the title, and it's the other team's ball because he didn't convert the down.
Is that
And
pass
because
interference?
the NFL sucks, they'll call it targeting.
They would have.
better if it was in the XFL. They could have done this all the time in the XFL. You have one designated player on each team known as your independent wrestler who can just go and do wrestling moves on anybody they want during the game. Come on, XFL,
So is that-
come back.
Including the
Is that
refs,
an
they're able to
evolution?
knock out the refs and then and then run like a dirty play. That would be amazing. Holy shit!
I think Joe just created an evolution of the dinger, slinger, pain bringer that we introduced to baseball. So what do we call this guy?
The RKOer.
Terry Tate off his linebacker.
Ooh, yeah, bring Terry Tate back. Actually, no, just have it be Terry Tate.
Right,
Don't
it's
even have
just
a person
Terry
per
Tate.
team. It's just Terry Tate, and each team, like they get a challenge flag, they get a Terry Tate flag.
Matt's saying it would be great if Randy Orton dresses up as a linebacker, and then all of a sudden you take off the helmet, and it's like, oh my God, it's Randy Orton. And that's how.
I mean, then you just get into the new longest yard when they have that first game and they all just go drop kicking and literally breaking everybody's bones in the first 3 minutes.
Did you like that movie? I like that movie, but everyone said it sucked.
You know, it's a guilty pleasure movie.
Wait,
All right,
old
that's
school
fair.
Longest Yard or Adam Sandler
No,
Longest
new
Yard?
longest yard.
New one, yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen
It
either
was
one.
Chris Rock's in it.
Adam
Terry Crews, I
Sandler.
think, is in it, right?
Nelly was in it. That's all I remember.
Nelly wasn't.
Gary Rice.
Yeah, Nelly the running
Jerry,
back.
oh God, another one of his reasons that he got a black fan Twitter because I would have called him out for trying to collect a buck.
You're
Scottie
unblocked,
Pippen
right?
could use that.
Pippin could have used that. Scott, you're unblocked by Jerry now, right?
I am, but my Twitter account has also been deleted forever from the history of Twitter, so there's that. But before that happened, Jerry had unblocked me. I don't know if he was in a pre-Super Bowl. Here, everybody can be unblocked that I've ridiculously blocked before. But somehow, some way, just before the Super Bowl, I found out that Jerry Rice had unblocked me. So
That's
I
amazing.
got that going for me.
It's a Super
That's like
Bowl
my
miracle.
best Twitter accolade ever.
It's a Super Bowl miracle, like coming back from 20 to 10. This was brought to you by MyBookie. Use the promo code 12ounce sports and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Be sure to tune into all of the gambling shows here on 12 ounce. Again, and then put that knowledge to practice on my...
You motherfucker, you.
Make sure you use the promo code 12ounce sports as 12OZ Sports to get the bonus. You can find their banners and links on every page of the station site at www.12ouncesportsradio.com. Whew. Sorry, Scott. I couldn't help myself. You set me up. You can't set me up like that, dude.
Man.
You can't set me up like that.
You know, Scott, if it makes you feel any better when he said that, I was about to correct him and be like, I thought it was 23-6 or whatever that the Falcons Patriots one was. That doesn't even rate as a situation.
The part about that hurts the most is he's been sitting on that for weeks.
I've been waiting for a good time to use that one. Not going to lie. I can't even hide. I definitely have been sitting on that one.
You've been waiting for a good time. You waited exactly 2 episodes. You're like, all right, I got him.
I mean, you hit me with the opportunity. I can't pass up opportunity. If one comes down the middle of the plate, you swing at it, right? You don't just sit there and watch. We're not sitting.
Not like
it's not
a couple of faggots.
And we're banned.
No, that's a callback for everybody who's been loyal to the show.
Explain what that was for those that aren't loyal to the show that are just tuning in and we're like, click.
Well, if you've been listening to the show for more than a few episodes, you would know that last year on our anniversary episode, Bronson Arroyo hit us with the couple of faggots and his voicemail message that he left for us congratulating us.
It's why we didn't do voicemail messages this year. It's why we didn't open it back up. I had thought about it and I was like, nah, Bronson ruined that one. But in fairness, we ruined his career. So,
but it's the only reason that I would drop the old F-bomb and just ingest in reference to that, because it was the most ridiculous thing. And to be fair, I didn't even hear it the first time the voicemail aired. Mike was laughing hysterically and I was like, yeah, it's pretty funny. He's like, wait, did you hear that one part though? Like,
I thought for sure TMZ was picking up on the show and it was going to be a big story, and then nobody heard it, so it was fine. But if you want to go back and listen to it.
Did you send the tape to the right office, Mike?
No, probably not. That's probably my fault.
They were like, he retired 2 years ago. We don't care.
All right, let's talk MLB real quick since we brought up Bronson. So MLB, StubHub, Ticketmaster, and all 30 teams are currently being sued for not refunding tickets for games that haven't been played. Basically, everybody's suing, saying they want their money back. And the MLB was quick to say to the teams, listen, don't say the games are canceled. Say they're postponed. That way you don't have to refund money. That's their out. That's the way they're getting out from around this lawsuit. But there is a potential class action lawsuit that's coming where they're suing for millions and millions of dollars because these games likely aren't ever going to be played. Even if they do start the season, they're probably not going to get all of these games in. People aren't going to be able to get to these games the same way that they would have been able to if they had been played regularly. Do you think there's any legs to this? Do you think there's going to be any type of payout? Anybody?
No.
I mean, payout, no, but my problem is it's classic MLB in an era when they're trying to gain fans and have this opportunity to get some goodwill. They're totally sitting on their hands and are like, well, we'll get off on a technicality and we'll just charge these people and, well, nobody will notice. But, I mean, MLB could legitimately gain some goodwill here, and, of course, they're going to MLB it.
Which is surprising because, like, what would they actually be looking at in terms of refunds? Like $5,000-$6,000?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying you do it. It's like these are all the cheap seats anyway, because the people who are high rollers, they're like, oh, wait a minute, my red season tickets renewed? I completely forgot about that during this whole COVID outbreak. So they don't care. It's the Joe Schmo who paid the bottom of the barrel money to get the season tickets who are getting screwed, who MLB's like, well, we're not going to pay anything out, and we'll just say later on, well, it technically still happened because we played the game.
So
blah,
that's
blah,
going to be
blah.
my question. How much is going to hurt them if it comes out that, like, look, you can play these games, but states are banning mass gatherings, and, like, Ohio is going to say you're not able to have fans in the stands. So, like, it's out of the Reds' hands, it's out of the Indians' hands. They literally can't bring people in, but at the same time, they're still having the game. So I'm interested in the legal aspect of that portion of it, because it's like,
That's
look,
bullshit.
this
though,
isn't up to
because
us.
The 10,000 fans that would show up at GABP could all socially
10,000,
distance
that's so
and still
nice
fit
of you.
in the damn stadium. I know, right? I mean, I'm giving them the bump. You know what I mean? The whole, like, I've been stuck in my house, I need to go somewhere kind of bump.
All
like,
I've
they
been
could
able to
easily
do is
fit
go to
everyone.
Target. I'm gonna go to this Major League Baseball game that'll mix things up. All right.
Exactly.
I got $6. I'm gonna sit on the right field line. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, now hold on a minute though. Do you catch that foul ball? If a foul ball comes to you, do you want to catch that after people be licking their hands and putting all kind
Did
of
you
shit
take
on
the
it?
pitcher's temperature before the game? All right,
hope
I'm
they did.
keeping it.
I hope they ain't taking mine, because I'll tell you what, man, I'm feeling a little warm over here. This Sasquatch.
This beer's got me feeling.
good.
I'm super red cheeked right now from this beer.
I was gonna say, right? Like,
This is the perfect birthday beer.
yes, sir.
Speaking of teams with terrible attendance,
Let's not move on from baseball first, because there's still one story we haven't covered.
we weren't going to move on from baseball, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, right. Well,
No, go, Drew. You
Shit.
got it. You got it.
I just want to talk a little bit about Scott's career and his arbitration in his in MLB The Show.
Oh,
I mean, he learned some valuable insight there about how baseball has players by the balls.
yeah. I mean, it in the game. I mean, it actually follows an actual MLB career, and it proves that MLB players, until they're at least 26 and have been in the league for 6 or 7 years, that they've actually had any type of worth. Prior to that, it's slave money. It's the only time that white people can legitimately say they're underpaid is if they're minor league baseball players or even just major league players for the first 7 years of their career. They don't make anything.
Which did you see? Minor league baseball is paying their players, but after our conversation earlier about unemployment, they're actually getting less money than you would get if you were on unemployment.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I think it was like $410, $405 a week or something they were paying these boys. And Mike, you said, was it 480?
480 in Ohio. That's the unemployment
480
in Ohio. Yeah.
So these guys in the minor leagues are getting paid less than unemployment.
Some of those dudes are
Holy
just happy though,
crap, man.
because they're just happy they're getting that paycheck, because not only did COVID kill the XFL, it also killed 40 minor league teams. This has been going on for a
All of
while.
those hats.
Yes. Which, Joe, you'll be upset to know, I think the Scrappers were one of the teams on the chopping block. I think that
Yeah, they
whole New York Penn League is gone. 40 minor league teams. MLB has been pushing for this for a while. Minor league baseball was pushing against it, but because of COVID shutting down games, and minor league teams just don't get the same revenue. They don't have TV deals. Like, they rely strictly on ticket sales. They don't have that revenue, so they had to basically cave into to MLB's demands. And 40 minor league teams are likely going to be cut within the next year. They're essentially going to take teams and each professional team, they're going to be able to like license it out or something weird like that, where teams are going to, the affiliation is going to be licensed out. Each team is going to have 5 levels rather than 7 that they currently have. It's disappointing, man. There's a lot of dudes that are going to be out of work. It really screws things up. But the one nice thing is the draft won't be 40 rounds long now. That's the only
It'll be,
plus
what,
out of this.
38 rounds? All right.
What about the Florence Y'alls? They safe?
Florence Y'alls are independent, so they're good. They have no minor league baseball tie-ins. Actually, Scott, I read that the draft may be as few as 5 rounds this coming year.
Really?
Yes.
I missed that. I did see where they said that the draft might be shorter, but when I saw the headline, it said like, oh, it might cut it in half, and I thought, half of what? Because if you're talking about all those rounds that it just keeps on going to, half could still be 50 rounds of the draft. But I knew they were negotiating for all that stuff, but I missed the part where it was 5. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it could be the amateur draft could be cut from 40 rounds to as few as 5 this year and 20 rounds in 2021. So this is just a temporary thing, likely because of the virus and the fact that the guys who are rookies this year aren't going to really get to play this year at all anyways. So there's really no sense in bringing in any more rookies, knowing that your rookies from this year are still going to be rookies next year.
So is this bad for baseball though? Because I've always wondered.
The
like,
better
is
question
it
is, does
necessary?
anybody notice for baseball?
Yeah. I was gonna try to not be that cynical. I remember
Well,
like a couple weeks
I'd
ago, I
love
was
it
like,
if
I'm all
people
in on
did,
baseball.
but, this
Because
is
here's the
one of
thing.
those things.
I think where it's really bad for baseball is like the Bull Durham effect, right? Those like really little towns where they've got the team and the team is essentially like the center point of the city. And like honestly, like small ball or minor league baseball, it's so much fun to go to. You know what I mean? Like you go
Sure.
to you're
It's a
in
ton
Sioux
of
City.
fun.
What the hell else you doing in the summer? You know what I mean?
It's a ton of fun. Minor league baseball is a damn good time because they have to do things to bring people in. I mean, we talked to Joe Gregory on the show and the events that he was thinking about to try to get people into the stadium out there in Virginia. It's all about the experience for the fans. And that's what Major League Baseball is missing. Major League Baseball is like, we need to focus on this sport. And they don't understand it's boring and people don't necessarily want to watch it. They want to see dizzy bat races in between innings. They want to see somebody choke on a hot dog during a hot dog eating contest and have to be revived in the terminal like they had to do it in Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Like
They want to see Stanley from The Office show up in center field in the 7th inning.
They want a craft root sports night is what they want, and that's not happening.
Goddamn right. Florence, y'all, get at us. But see, again, this is also a sport that in their licensed video game throws at you if you bat flip after a home run. They made some asshole code that into the game. Scott, you told us earlier. You preach, right? You're preaching gospel over there. This is true.
I mean, you just don't want to throw at somebody because I threw at a guy. It was spring training, so I wanted to see how many it would be until they threw me out. I threw at a guy 3 times in a row, and on the 4th guy, they were like, "This guy's just headhunting, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, They wouldn't say that if they didn't expect you to throw at 4 straight guys. So at least the guys who made the game thought there's probably going to be some douchebag out there who throws at 4 straight guys. We better record this audio.
So what happens when you hit the 4th guy?
Absolutely nothing. I don't know if it was because it was spring training or what, but I was like, I didn't even get ejected. I was kind of disappointed.
Working on your curveball.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, dude. It just got away
that
from
one got
me.
away from me. Sorry.
Through ball I'm trying to put in just isn't coming around. That hook's not there.
A fastball to the head 4 straight times didn't convince me that I shouldn't throw this new pitch on the next one.
Joe, I want to talk to you about something real quick. Scott and Drew, you guys can tune out for a little bit. This is some golf talk. Joe, the PGA is talking about some type of virtual option for fans for the Ryder Cup in case they're not allowed to play that with fans in attendance. Does that piss you off as much as it pisses me off?
Yes.
Like at that point, just cancel it, right? Don't even have the Ryder Cup.
This goes across like most sports. Like I'd rather if you can't have fans, I mean, I guess I can see you trying to do it, but like it dilutes the whole purpose of any sporting event. So especially the Ryder Cup where it's basically rivals going at each other. You know, what's the point trying to get your home crowd behind you?
I don't care about other sports. Like I'd be fine if football and baseball played without fans, but the Ryder Cup is one where I want, especially because the U.S. has the home course advantage this year. Like I want the U.S. fans. This is the only time when golf is fun to watch. When like people who aren't normal golf fans are willing to watch the tournament. One, it's match play, which I still contend that there should be more match play. See, thank you, Drew. And 2, they will talk shit to the other team. Like the golf fans will talk shit. That's amazing. And if you do that without fans, there's no way. Like don't do it. Don't have the tournament. Period.
So like, what does this look like? like, what do they mean by virtual? Like, are we getting some friggin' Oculus Rift, strapping that shit on, and that's like how you get your experience? But
Probably.
Seriously?
Probably
Pretty much.
like
It'd
some
be like
3D.
a VR type deal where they just have cameras set up and you're like supposedly there.
That sounds terrible. It
But
sounds
you,
terrible.
but you know what, though? Honestly, I'm gonna backtrack. Like, I'll take whatever I can get. I'll do it.
No, not for the Ryder Cup. Not for the Ryder Cup. Anything
But
else,
Mike,
yes.
here's the thing: if
Anything else,
if,
yes.
if
The Ryder Cup, no.
options are nothing or this bullshit, I will take this because this is a hell of a lot better than what we got
The
right
problem
now.
with the Ryder Cup is that golf is for older people that don't know how to use VR technology.
Right?
Like, you really think they're going to go out just to get a VR headset?
Are those the same ones talking shit on the course? Because I feel like the ones talking shit know how to use VR.
That's a good point. The dudes that are talking trash, but it doesn't affect the game at all. Like they can talk,
Okay, I see
but
your
you're
point.
not.
They need to figure out a way to VR talk shit.
Yes,
And then if that's
exactly.
the case, I'm in for every
Then I'm
event.
okay. Then I'll
I
do
will
it.
talk shit during, tea time. I will talk shit to Tiger on the putting green before. I will show up and talk shit when they're in the locker room. Like, you give me access to that, I will run my mouth to every fool.
All right, someone wake up Scott.
Scott's over there dancing.
What?
That's our golf talk.
What do you think about Mike?
That's our. That's our golf
MJ,
talk.
Not
No, I knew.
other
I knew
one.
what you meant. I didn't think it was me. Real quick before we get into last call, Joe Buck rejected an offer of $1 million to do play-by-play for a porn site. I feel like that's
Nobody was paying Joe Buck $1 million.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Joe Buck, get your money, man. Would you want an announcer? Okay, let's say you're accessing this site. Would
As
you
long
want
as Tim McCarver wasn't there, I'd be all right.
it's just Chris Collinsworth circling that. Here's a guy right here that's pounding it.
Here's
It's like,
a
dude,
dong.
Why do we wait till the end to cover this story, man? This
Because
could
I
have
had to-
carried like so many of our
that's
shitty
why,
segments
because
earlier.
it would have gone way too long. We wouldn't have gotten to anything else. It would have been terrible porn jokes of
I think that would have worked out well based on how we got to everything else. I mean, dude, telestrating porn sounds like a great idea. So what you're going to want to do here is make sure that your hips are nice and loose and flexible, right? Because if not, you could really have a bad go of it, and then you have a hard time backing out for the next snap. Which sport do you think, if you just lifted the commentary, if you just lifted the audio from the sport, which one would apply
Basketball.
best?
basketball.
To porn?
Definitely basketball.
It's hands down.
Going hard to the hole, that's all you need. That's the only line you need. It's definitely basketball.
He throws it down with two hands.
Really slam that one in there. This is Last Call, brought to you by Tavor. Use the promo code 258023 on the payments and credit screen. You can get $10 off your second order. Hit up Tavor, stock up your beer fridge, especially if you're in one of those states where the liquor stores are locked down. Go hit up Tavor, 258023 on the payments and credit screen. Get $10 off that second order. This week, Joe was drinking Bud Heavy. The rest of us were drinking Birthday Sasquatch from 903 Brewers. Good Lord, this is a good drink.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God, I want more of
So
this right
chocolate.
now. Yeah, it's definitely chocolatey, definitely maple syrupy. Like, I feel like I have cavities right now. But it's so
Glad that I
damn
got
good.
this red flag behind me because I feel like I'm pink as shit right now.
Welcome to my world. Damn good beer. Definitely one that you should pick up if you see it. Birthday Sasquatch from 903 Brewers. 903 doesn't make a beer that I don't like, though. I like everything that they've done. I don't think I've found a 903 beer that's bad at this point. Have you guys have had some 903 brews, right?
I would say I don't think maybe? I don't know. I drink a lot of beer, but I don't pay a lot of attention.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Hey guys, it's been 4 years. We've been doing this
Holy
show for 4 years. It's been interesting. Also, this is my last show. See you guys. I'm out.
It's been a thing.
Well, good talk.
Do you think we'll make another 4 years? Do you think we'll make it? Like, every year we're like, this is our year. This is the one we're going to blow. I feel it. We're going to do these couple things. We're going to tweak a couple things. And this is the year that we really take
But
off.
we've never had COVID factored in, so
a good point.
maybe this is the year.
If we can figure out
Where we
technical.
blow up? I think so. Look
Blow
at this
up
way,
on the
man.
heels of the pandemic.
Who here has a life good enough to leave this show?
Not I, said the cat.
Exactly. We're all going to be sitting our asses here in 4 years. Maybe not here, but on the show. We ain't got anything better to do.
I got plans for this show. I got plans. I feel good about the next year. I feel good about year number 5.
Absolutely.
Like, well, I guess that technically, the next year, by the 5th anniversary, things are gonna be looking good for Craft Brewed Sports.
2020 don't count, man. Fuck this year.
Can we just take a mulligan on this? Next year at this time,
Right.
let's celebrate our 4-year anniversary again and just do it all. We'll just bring it back up.
Basically, what 2020 is Mother Earth going, y'all need to just chill the fuck out and sit in timeout for a minute. Come back in a year.
In all seriousness, though, Scott, it's been awesome the last 4 years doing the show with you. We've been together from the start. Joe, adding you into the mix has been fantastic. I love your super hot takes. I mean, I wish you wouldn't talk as much sometimes. Like, I wish you would kind of get off the mic sometimes. But, like, when you are, like, picking your spots, it's solid. And Drew, bringing you into the mix recently has been fantastic. You carried the show through a little bit of a struggle point. You helped us keep us afloat, so I appreciate you too, man.
Because we're the 4 best friends that anyone could ever have.
I wouldn't say I strive to be your Drew Gotts as much as I can. And if I'm doing that, then I feel good.
Killing the role, man. Killing the role. But also thank you to all of you guys that listen every week, that share out the show, that comment, that post in the Facebook group. You guys are really the reason that we keep doing this, because if nobody was doing this, I would have quit a long time ago. So even if there's like 3 people that are hanging on watching every episode, that's good enough for me. Like, that's about what we have.
By the way, Mike, there was a point earlier I was waiting to jump in because I was looking at my tablet here where I'm streaming, and I saw viewers and it said 4. And I'm like, fuck, one of those me. I'm pretty sure Mike has bet somewhere else. And there's like 2 legit people watching, and one of them is probably Tyson, and he's like in another room from whatever device is on, and then Matt Barr is probably have it like in the shitter with him, and that's it. And it's like, well,
that's good enough for me though, man. If there's one person that keeps tuning in, that's all I care about. So thank you guys.
As long as they're on the shitter too.
Right? Yeah, I prefer you to be on the shitter. That's the best way to take in this show.
That's my introduction to our audience.
But fellas, this has been a fun 4 years. And real quick, cheers to another 4. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to everybody listening. Thank you guys for supporting us, for watching, for listening. We appreciate you. Cheers, everybody.
Peace. We out.
Oh, wait. No, we're not. We still got to do the outro.
Preemptive out.
Yeah.
I think he just meant peace. I'm out because Scott's got steak.
Yeah, Scott's ready to go. If you guys want to, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Craft Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. We're on Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, whatever. We're everywhere. Also, we're on 12 Ounce Sports when I can get it to work. So thank you to all of you that tune in and listen each and every week. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Peace. We out.